Bargaining for advantage, negotiation strategies for reasonable people. Have you ever found yourself in a negotiation, whether at work, at home, or even while shopping, and wondered how to come out on top without feeling like you're being unreasonable? Negotiation is something we all do, but very few of us feel confident about it. Whether you're asking for a raise, buying a car, or even deciding where to eat dinner, negotiation plays a huge role in getting what you want. But what if I told you that there's a way to negotiate that's not only effective, but also fair and respectful? Today, we're diving deep into the art and science of negotiation, inspired by the best-selling book Bargaining for Advantage by G. Richard Schell. Stay tuned as we explore the strategies that will turn you into a negotiation pro. So why does negotiation matter so much? You might think it's only relevant in high-stakes business deals or legal settings, but the truth is, negotiation is a part of everyday life. Think about it, you're constantly negotiating with people around you, whether it's with your partner about household chores, with your boss about your responsibilities, or with the seller about the price of something you want to buy. The ability to negotiate effectively can literally change your life. It can mean the difference between getting what you deserve and settling for less, between building strong relationships and creating tension, and even between success and failure in your career. In Bargaining for Advantage, Schell outlines a practical approach to negotiation that is both strategic and ethical. What I love about this book is that it's not just about tactics to win negotiations. Instead, it emphasizes understanding the other side, leveraging your strengths, and finding solutions that are beneficial for everyone involved. Schell's approach is rooted in psychology, strategy, and practical advice, making it accessible and actionable for anyone, whether you're a seasoned negotiator or just starting out. The book covers everything from understanding your own negotiation style to learning how to prepare effectively, manage emotions, and use different strategies depending on the situation. At the heart of every negotiation, according to Schell, are four key elements: interests, options, alternatives, and legitimacy. These are the building blocks of any negotiation, and understanding them can make a huge difference in your outcomes. Let's start with interests. Interests are the underlying reasons behind your position, what you really want. Often in negotiations, we focus on positions: I want this price, I need this deadline, but these positions are just surface level. To negotiate effectively, you need to dig deeper and understand what's really driving these positions. For example, if you're negotiating a salary, your position might be a specific number, but your interest might be financial security, recognition of your value, or simply keeping pace with industry standards. Next, we have options. These are the possible solutions or agreements you can reach during a negotiation. In any negotiation, it's essential to brainstorm a variety of options that could satisfy both parties' interests. The more options you have, the more likely you are to find common ground. It's about being creative and open-minded, considering different ways to structure a deal, different timelines, different levels of commitment, and so on. This is where collaboration comes in. If you can sit down with the other party and discuss a range of possibilities, you're more likely to come up with a solution that works for both sides. Then there's alternatives. Alternatives refer to your fallback plans if the negotiation doesn't go your way. This is often called your BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Your BATNA is crucial because it gives you leverage. If you know you have a solid alternative lined up, you're less likely to feel pressured into accepting a bad deal. For example, if you're negotiating a job offer and you already have another offer on the table, you have more power in the negotiation because you're not desperate for this one particular outcome. Finally, we have legitimacy. Legitimacy is all about ensuring that the terms of your agreement are fair and justifiable. It's about grounding your negotiation in objective criteria, market standards, legal precedents, or industry norms, so that the outcome is seen as fair by all parties involved. When both sides feel that the agreement is legitimate, they're more likely to stick to it and less likely to harbor resentment or regret. This is especially important in negotiations that involve ongoing relationships, like with colleagues, clients, or family members. One of the most interesting insights Schell offers is about bargaining styles. He identifies 5 styles: competing, collaborating, compromising, avoiding, and accommodating. Each of these styles has its strengths and weaknesses, and understanding your own style as well as that of the person you're negotiating with can give you a significant advantage. Let's break these down a bit. If you're a competitor, you're likely assertive and focused on winning. Competitors thrive in situations where the stakes are high. and they have the confidence to push for what they want. But here's the thing, while being a competitor can help you get what you want, it can also lead to conflicts if the other party feels steamrolled or undervalued. On the other hand, collaborators seek win-win solutions. They're the kind of people who believe that the best outcomes come from working together and finding common ground. Collaborators are great at building relationships and creating value for both sides, but they might get bogged down in details or take longer to reach an agreement because they want to explore every possible option. Then, there's the compromiser. Compromisers are willing to give up something to get something. They're often focused on finding a middle ground quickly, which can be beneficial in time-sensitive negotiations. However, they might settle for less than they could have achieved if they pushed a bit harder. The avoider, as the name suggests, tends to shy away from confrontation. Avoiders often prefer to stay out of negotiations altogether, hoping the issue will resolve itself or simply avoiding the discomfort of conflict. While this can work in situations where the stakes are low, it can be a drawback when important issues are on the line. Finally, we have the accommodator. Accommodators prioritize the relationship over the outcome. They're often willing to give in to the other party's demands to maintain harmony and avoid conflict. While this can be useful in preserving relationships, it can also lead to resentment if the accommodator feels like they're always the one making sacrifices. So, how do these styles play out in real life? Imagine you're negotiating with someone who is a strong competitor. They might come in with a high opening demand and be very aggressive in their approach. If you're a collaborator, your instinct might be to slow things down and explore different options that can satisfy both parties. But you'll need to be careful if you're too accommodating. The competitor might take advantage of that. On the flip side, if you're negotiating with an avoider, you might need to take the lead and bring up the issues that need to be addressed, or else nothing will get resolved. Understanding these dynamics can really help you navigate negotiations more effectively. By recognizing your own style, you can play to your strengths and be aware of your weaknesses. And by identifying the other party's style, you can tailor your approach to work with them more effectively. It's all about being adaptable and strategic. Another critical aspect of negotiation is preparation. Shell emphasizes that preparation is key to successful negotiation, but what does preparation really mean? It's not just about knowing what you want, it's about understanding the entire landscape of the negotiation. This includes knowing your own interests, options, alternatives, and legitimacy, as well as those of the other party. Preparation also means doing your homework, researching the market, understanding the context, and gathering all the information you need to make informed decisions. For example, if you're negotiating a job offer, preparation might involve researching salary ranges for your role in your industry, understanding the company's financial position, and knowing what benefits are standard in your field. It also means thinking through different scenarios. What will you do if the company offers less than you expected? How will you respond if they ask you to make a quick decision? The more prepared you are, the more confident and in control you'll feel during the negotiation. One of the most powerful tools you can use in negotiation is what Shell calls the 6 foundations of effective negotiation. These foundations are critical to understanding and mastering the art of negotiation. The first foundation is your bargaining style, which we just talked about. Knowing your style and how it interacts with others is the first step to becoming a better negotiator. The second foundation is your goals and expectations. This is about being clear on what you want to achieve and setting realistic expectations for the negotiation. The third foundation is standards and norms. This involves understanding the standards and norms that apply to your negotiation. These could be industry standards, legal precedents, or social norms that define what's considered fair and reasonable. The fourth foundation is relationships. Relationships are crucial in negotiation because they determine the level of trust and cooperation between parties. The fifth foundation is the other party's interests. Understanding the other party's interests is just as important as understanding your own. Finally, the sixth foundation is leverage. Leverage is all about power. Who has it, how much of it you have, and how you can use it to achieve your goals. Let's dive a little deeper into these foundations. Your goals and expectations are your guiding star in a negotiation. If you don't know what you want, how can you expect to get it? Setting clear goals helps you stay focused and prevents you from getting sidetracked by distractions or pressure from the other party. But it's also important to be realistic. If your expectations are too high, you might end up disappointed. And if they're too low, you might settle for less than you deserve. Standards and norms are like the rules of the game. They provide a framework for what's considered fair and reasonable. By grounding your negotiation in these standards, you can justify your positions and make it harder for the other party to dismiss your proposals. Relationships, on the other hand, are all about trust. The stronger your relationship with the other party, the more likely they are to work with you to find a solution that works for both sides. But remember, relationships are a two-way street. Building trust takes time and effort, and it can be easily damaged if you're not careful. Now, let's talk about leverage. Leverage is what gives you power in a negotiation. It's what allows you to influence the other party and push for your desired outcome. But leverage isn't just about who has the most power, it's about how you use the power you have. Sometimes, leverage comes from having a strong alternative, like a second job offer. Other times, it comes from your ability to walk away from the table if the deal isn't right for you. Understanding your leverage and the leverage of the other party is crucial to successful negotiation, but leverage isn't just about hard power. Soft power like your reputation, your network, and your ability to persuade can be just as important, and don't forget about the psychological aspects of leverage. Sometimes, just projecting confidence and being willing to assert yourself can shift the balance of power in your favor. It's all about being strategic and using the tools at your disposal to create the best possible outcome. Let's put these concepts into practice with a real-world example. Imagine you're negotiating the price of a car. The salesperson starts with a high price, but you've done your homework. You know the market value of the car. You have a pre-approved loan with favorable terms, and you've identified several other dealerships with similar models in stock. You start by setting clear goals. You want to pay a fair price that's within your budget. You leverage your research on market standards and norms to justify your offer, and you build rapport with the salesperson to establish a positive relationship. As the negotiation progresses, you listen carefully to the salesperson's interests. They need to hit their sales targets, but they're also looking to build long-term customer relationships. You offer a counter-proposal that includes a price closer to your budget, along with some added value like free maintenance or an extended warranty. You're also prepared to walk away if the deal doesn't meet your needs, knowing that you have other options. By the end of the negotiation, you've reached an agreement that both sides are happy with a win-win outcome. So, what are the key takeaways from all this? First, understand your own bargaining style and be aware of how it interacts with others. Second, always be prepared. Know your interests, options, alternatives, and legitimacy, and research the other parties as well. Third, use the 6 foundations of effective negotiation to guide your strategy. Your goals and expectations, standards and norms, relationships, the other party's interests, and leverage. And finally, remember that negotiation is as much about people as it is about numbers. Build relationships, communicate clearly, and always strive for a solution that benefits everyone involved. Negotiation is a skill that can be learned and refined with practice. By applying these strategies, you can approach any negotiation with confidence and poise, knowing that you have the tools to achieve the best possible outcome. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future videos. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's the toughest negotiation you've ever been in, and how did you handle it? Let's keep the conversation going.